Over 10 years of Disney cruises, we have discovered some of the things that are must-dos for your trip. Some of these might be considered pro tips, from pajama parties to the best activities on board the ship. We're going to tell you today how to fit it all in. So grab a snack, sit back, let's dive in. The must-do on every Disney cruise is to ask your servers for their recommendations. For Disney Cruise Line's main dining dinners, they have rotational dining, meaning you will have a trio of servers, your head server, your server, and your assistant server. Basically, one's to make sure everything is going well. You'll only see him once on the cruise probably. The assistant server will get the beverages and the main server will get the entrees. This team of 3 people will travel with you each night, which is a lot of fun. You'll get used to them, they'll get used to you, know what your tastes and preferences are, so make sure and ask their recommendations. There are a few things that just sounded fairly blah to me, like this lemon thyme roasted chicken. It is so good. It was one of the best dishes I had on the cruise. I am not a huge fan of chicken, so I was really impressed with this dish. This is one they recommended for us to try, and they were spot on. And the sour cream mashed potatoes don't hurt either. The other thing they recommended was this warm sticky date pudding. Butterscotch sauce, vanilla ice cream, a little bit of a crunch. It is so good. I highly recommend that one as well. They have great recommendations on board. And I honestly didn't start doing that until probably at least our 5th cruise. It definitely makes a difference. They know what's good. But don't take my word for it. Make sure and get the recommendations from your servers while you're on board. One of the favorite things the tiny humans really love is Pluto's Pajama Party. This is for ages 3 through 12 in Oceaneers Club and Lab. The kiddos will wear their pajamas, slippers, and enjoy a dance party with Pluto, and of course the counselors. Sometimes they will also get a pillowcase that they can decorate at the party. This is typically going to be one evening, and it's on the longer cruises. So if you have a 3 or 4 night cruise on the Wish or the Dream, they are likely not going to have this pajama party. That's not set in stone, but don't expect it, because I haven't seen it lately. However, if you are going on cruises 5 nights or longer, they will typically have this one evening of the cruise. The tiny humans absolutely love Pluto's Pajama Party. It is one of the main things I hear about. The time and location will be listed on your Disney Cruise Line Navigator app. Pro tip, download that Disney Cruise Line Navigator app. Absolutely everything is on there once you get on the ship, and a lot of it is on there before. You can see your itinerary, days, all ashore, all aboard times. It's got a cool countdown. Just download that Disney Cruise Line Navigator app. You'll definitely want it, and I really love looking at the countdown every day. Now, these activities are going to be on shorter cruises and longer cruises. If you're on a shorter cruise, I recommend doing at least one of these. If you can do all 3, then you get a gold star. Our very favorite activity is Match Your Mate. This is for 18 and above only. It will be one evening of the cruise. It's basically like a TV show they used to have. They'll pick a very new couple, maybe a couple that's been together 10 or 15 years, and then the couple with the longest time married. They'll put all of them up on the stage, send one spouse away. They'll ask the other spouse questions and see how they answer it when they come back. It's really funny, especially when there's family in the room. It can really get a little risque, but it's just so funny. They also have family game shows in the family lounge. Obviously, family game shows are a lot of fun. You might find out some new information about your family, and it's just fun to play together that way. And they will also have animation classes. They will teach you how to draw a character, and then you will actually get to keep that drawing, so it's a free souvenir and much more meaningful than ones you might buy. Not saying you shouldn't buy them, just saying. It's more fun. And Jack Jack's Diaper Dash is our favorite activity on Disney Cruise Line. Okay, actually Match Your Mate is first, but Jack Jack's Diaper Dash is second. Basically, they race babies. The babies are typically about 9 months old. Of course, they can crawl, so they can get across the finish line. They'll put out a racetrack with one family member at each end, and they will try to entice them to cross the line. Of course, the babies don't understand what's going on, so it gets kind of funny. You definitely have to watch that one. It will usually be in the atrium or in the Hero Zone on the Wish. Another must-do for any Disney Cruise Line is some character sighting. Whether you want character hugs, character autographs, just want to talk to one, or could care less, you're gonna have them there. To be honest, I didn't really care about the characters the first time we went on a Disney cruise. It took about the 2nd or 3rd time until I started realizing they can be quite fun. I don't go in line for the meet and greet, but I love seeing the characters around the ship. It is so fun just to see them randomly wandering or playing. That's one of the highlights of a Disney cruise, is that the character interactions are so much better than Disney World. There's just so many of them. It's a much smaller space, of course, and you get to see them doing things a little different. Sometimes you can even get a little conversation with them while they're traveling from one place to the other. It's really fun to just see them pop up places. And the youth clubs is one of those places where they really have a lot of character visits. Obviously, the tiny humans love this, but they also have it during their open houses. Open house is when the parents and adults in general can go into the youth clubs. They do have some activities you might want to try out. I cannot wait to try this simulator on the Disney Disney Wish, but open house can be a fun time to catch some characters. We caught Spider-Man and Thor during this open house on the Disney Wonder. And Thor called Spider-Man Spider-Child, just so you know, quite funny. Another must-do for every cruise is the stage shows. Their stage shows are phenomenal. Do not miss these. I can't even explain how good they are. They're absolutely Broadway quality. The lights, the dancing, the music, the acting, it's all top-notch. The special effects. Disney does do one thing very well, and that's put on a show, so make sure you see at least one of these shows while you're on board. Now, these stage shows are typically going to be in the evening. If you have early dining, you'll have a late stage show and vice versa. Sometimes, though, they will have the stage show in the afternoon. They're not going to do this for all of these, and it's not even guaranteed, but if you're not going to make it to one of the evening shows, I would check and see if they have one of the afternoon ones so that you can watch it. They will have it on your TV as well, but it goes in and out, and it's just not the same. You really have to be there. One other character thing that you want to make sure you attend is the Princess Royal Gathering. Now, this is supposed to be 3 or 4 princesses. This is a ticket item. You do not have to pay for it, but you do need to pre-reserve it. If you can't get it online before you go on the ship, just go on the ship once you get there, see if you can get a spot. You typically can. Also, pro tip, whenever you're trying to select things, if they are sold out, so to speak, when you try to go for them, keep looking. I check twice a day. You'll usually find what you want. People cancel. You can go to a Facebook group. People in Facebook groups will let the others know, hey, I'm going to cancel this in case you want to try and grab it. So don't give up. Don't be discouraged. Just keep checking. Now, the Princess Royal Gathering is not to be confused with the Princess Royal Tea. The Royal Tea is over $200 per child, and they get a lot of gifts with it. But what I'm talking about here is the Princess Royal Gathering. It does need to be pre-booked. It does not have a cost, and there will be 3 or 4 princesses. You will wait in one line and then get to go meet all the princesses. Tiny humans really love that one. Even the boys. It doesn't have to be girls, and you don't have to be a tiny human. This is for everyone. Now, there are a couple things that you're going to want to do before you get on the ship. This is your check-in online and your port arrival time. You will also want to select your activities before the trip. These check-ins and activity selections are based on your Castaway Club level. Castaway Club is Disney Cruise Line's membership program. After your first cruise, you will automatically be a silver member. After you complete 5 cruises, you will become a gold member, and so on through the rest of the levels. You have 2 times you will want to note for these activities. If you are a brand new cruiser, 75 days before your cruise, you want to make sure and do your activity selections. Now, some of these activities that we suggest are not all available during this selection. This is specifically for alcohol tasting, specialty dining reservations, port excursions, and then you also will do a check-in 30 days prior to your cruise. That is going to be where you will check in, give them all the details of your party, and you will also be able to select a port arrival time. Getting the earliest port arrival time available is key in case you want to go to guest services to get any changes. Obviously, there's more likelihood if you are on the ship earlier. In addition to that, as soon as you schedule your cruise, you're going to want to select your dining time. It's either early or late, early being about 5:45, late being approximately 8:15. If you get on the waiting list and are not assigned the time you want before you get on the ship, go straight to the dining guest services. Once you are on board, they might be able to assist you. They are doing family table seating again, where they will have multiple families at a table during main dining. So if you want to request your own table, you'll want to make sure and go on the website and do that here. This is not a guarantee. They will seat you at your own table, but it's certainly worth requesting. Once you get on board, go see if they were able to accommodate that request or if they still can. Another must-do for every cruise is arrive a night early. You have certainly heard me say this before because it is vital. You put a lot of money and a lot of energy into these cruises. You do not want to get there the day of because there can be accidents, traffic, weather, all kinds of things can affect your cruise. I highly suggest staying at the port. See if there's a hotel that has a view of the port. That is so fun on, well, I almost said Christmas morning because it is like Christmas morning. It's so fun to wake up and see the ship all ready to take you on your fancy vacation. And you don't want to add stress to that by coming in the day of the cruise. Just arrive a night early. That way you can start your vacation earlier as well. And one more must-do pro tip, go to sit-down dining on your first day. They will have the buffet up in Cabanas or Marceline Market, and that is where the cast members will tell you to go. But there's always going to be one main dining restaurant for a sit-down lunch on that first embarkation day. I highly recommend going there. The Marceline Market and the buffets are just such a cluster, so much noise, so many people rushing around everywhere. It is much more relaxing to just go to main dining. So that's what we do. We get the earliest port arrival time, we get the main dining as soon as we get on board. How do we fit it all in? Now, the biggest thing with this is you've got to figure out how to fit it all in. Here's what I suggest. First of all, we don't really do 3-day cruises anymore. Trying to fit a whole bunch of stuff in on a 3-day cruise can get really stressful, honestly. If you're going on a longer cruise, you can absolutely fit these all in. If you're going on that shorter cruise, pick 1 or 2 must-dos for your family and just enjoy. So, how to fit it all in. When you get to the port, open your Disney Cruise Line Navigator app. If you're lucky, it will be joined with Disney. You can start looking at the schedule of activities on the app. They call this a navigator, so if you hear that word, that's why. While you're in the port waiting to board the ship, go in there, look at which activities you want, and pre-plan them. I start with checking everything I want to do, and then I go look at the day and see how many things I selected and which I should take out. From there, your phone will let you know what time, where you're supposed to be, and you can do that or not. It's your trip. The most important must-do pro tip for every Disney cruise: make sure you have fun and have time and space to relax. Because ultimately, that's what you came for. You're not there for that one animation class, and if you are, that's great. Everybody gets to do their trip the way they want to do it. But it is so easy, especially as the parent, the planner, the must-do person, to get all caught up in all of that, making sure everyone's having a good time. Did you like that activity? Did we get to the princess gathering? All of these things add up, and you want to make sure and have some downtime in there as well. I have easily found myself at the last day of the cruise and realizing, oh shoot, I didn't really just get present and enjoy the moment. So of everything that you want to do on a Disney cruise, that's top. That's the most important. Make sure you take some time and space for you, your family, to relax, recharge, refuel, enjoy the cruise. Our favorite ways to do this is to get continental breakfast delivered from room service in the morning, fruit, juice, and coffee. We'll take that out on the veranda. It is a wonderful way to wake up. The other one is for the evening. Typically, about 11 o'clock at night, I like to go up to the Funnel Vision on deck. That's their big movie screen that's up there. There is a beverage fountain close by. You can get something to drink, some coffee, hot chocolate, tea, whatever. Sometimes I'll bring a blanket with me, depending on the weather. It's a great time to sit and just take it in. There's not usually a lot of people up there at that time of night. Funnel Vision goes till approximately 12 midnight. And the last is we really love to get the rainforest room on the Dream and the Fantasy, and we will go to the hot tub while other people are in main dining, that first seating, or they're at the show, and the rainforest room is usually empty at that time. But regardless, make sure you have fun, have time and space to relax. Just get present and soak it all in. And if you haven't seen it yet, go check out 10 Hidden Gems on Disney Cruise Line. That video, honestly, is a bit of gold. I would highly recommend that one. I always recommend one, but that's a good one.